All right, we might just start and then hopefully a few more people join us along the way. We are recording the sessions, so for anyone that arrives late, they can do a catch up anyway. I will just jump into our welcome acknowledgement of country. AUSCERT through the University of Queensland acknowledges the traditional owners and their custodianship of the lands on which we meet. We pay our respects to their ancestors and their descendants who continue cultural and spiritual connections to country. We recognise their valuable contributions to Australian and global society. Interestingly, my screen is not advancing the slides, but that's okay. I feel like they're working in the right spot, so I'll continue. I'm Beck Chebb, I'm the business manager at AUSCERT, so I'll be walking you through the services this morning. If you've got any questions along the way, just put them in the Q&A where we can tackle those at the end of the session. It shouldn't take the full hour that we've allocated here, so don't panic, you will get some of your day back. But we just think it's a great opportunity for us to go through each of the services, explain what is involved with our membership, and give you the opportunity to make sure that you understand exactly what you'd be signing up for with us. Just to give you a little bit of background, you would have seen the acknowledgement of country as AUSCERT through UQ. Headliner AUSCERT is actually owned by the University of Queensland, so we are a small not-for-profit business that sits in the ITS department of UQ, a little bit unusual, but that stems back to our history of being around for over 30 years. Originally from a beautiful UQ student hacking into NASA in the early 90s. We can thank them for the creation of AUSCERT. It's a very cool origin story, but yeah, essentially they delayed a launch, they didn't stop it, and everyone went, why are we not watching what students do on the internet? And Australians can't be trusted with internet, so AUSCERT was born ever since then. Tapping into, this is just a high level about what we're going to go into today. Essentially our services included in membership are all down the left there, and they're sorted into 3 pillars of incident support, vulnerability management and threat intelligence. And then we have our add-on services, which are an additional cost, but we've got training, short courses, and also our GRC services. But as I mentioned, we're a not-for-profit, so all of these add-on fees and our membership are very economical and probably the smallest bill that you'll have in your cybersecurity portfolio. So we'll dive into incident support first. In the early days of AUSCERT, this was very much our bread and butter. We were the cyber emergency response team. That has really evolved over time, so that's not our core service these days. We are a small team all based in Brisbane. We're not having, an office in every capital city. So this service has kind of evolved more into being more general incident support and assistance. We still do have that 24/7 member hotline, so people can call us all hours of the day. We have analysts on call throughout the night, but we typically find our members are more using us as an extension of their team, or how they can tap into just, I guess, a sounding board, or how they can use us as an extension of the team. So generally for us, an incident is anywhere of up to 3 hours of support that our team can provide for you. If you email during business hours, you'll get a response. Obviously, we're not monitoring that inbox overnight. It's just that 24/7 hotline. And then we also have our member Slack service, which is great because not only are you tapping into the AUSCERT team, but all of the other AUSCERT members who are really great at sharing their knowledge and their experience. And we're finding that members are getting a lot there. If you're looking at a new product or if you're seeing something in your environment, it's a great way to tap into the other members and see if they're experiencing the same. Our members it's a great little community. They're really happy to help each other and try and save each other time. So, if they've done the research into a product that you're looking at, they'll help you along the way. So yeah, lots of cybersecurity guidance, advice, and we can analyze some malware, suspicious items, any sort of log, if we can go through some logs for you to keep you looking at something and keep things moving in your team. The biggest part of incident support these days is definitely our phishing takedown service. So this is what I really consider our bread and butter of incidents now. We are doing hundreds of phishing takedowns every day for all of our AUSCERT members. What is unique about our service is that it is all included in that annual membership fee, and there's no caps on volume as well. So I know a lot of other phishing takedown services are really high cost, but also cap how many you can use. So very different in how we're delivering that service. The other benefit of this service is that we're really tapping into that history of AUSCERT. We've been around for a long time. We've got a real network and community of people that we work with in countries across the globe. So we've got analysts reaching out to real teams to get those taken down. Obviously, we still have to provide a lot of evidence about why it is malicious and why it's imitating your brand. They don't just take our word for it, but the trust relationship that we have is what really powers that service to be really beneficial. And in certain instances, if we're not finding a response from the hosting providers in the country, we can lean on our other CERT teams around the world that they can go, yep, we're vouching for AUSCERT. We know that they're legit, trust them, help them out. So we find that's been really an area of growth, which is a bit of a sad thing in cyber. But yeah, the number of websites that are popping up. So we're trying to be as fast as we can to get those taken down as well at the same time. We do have community threat report. So if you're seeing things that are just malicious in content that pose a risk to general public, we do try to get those taken down too. And, all part of our being here for the greater good and helping the community, not just about individuals. Moving over to vulnerability management. So we do issue security bulletins. This is another long-standing service of AUSCERT and something that a lot of our members really rely on us for. So across so many major platforms and vendors, but you get that consistent format of your security bulletins. So we do include criticality score, a recommended resolution, including patching, upgrading, and how you can mitigate. So there's different ways that you can tap into this bulletin service. We do have email subscription, so you can actually go in and customize which platforms and vendors that you want to receive information from. So you're not getting all of them, because that would be quite a volume. And for people that are looking for something high level, like myself, you get a daily bulletin digest that you can subscribe to. So rather than getting every email as a bulletin's generated, you can get served a little buffet at the end of the day, see what was there, and I can show you some examples of that in a moment. So this is what our bulletins look like in our member portal. So you can search on them if there's something specific that you're looking for, but otherwise they're there by when they're published. They're tagged with the CVSS score, what the provider is, and then once you click into one, you can drill into some more detail. So you'll see at the top, this is a Red Hat one, so you can actually click directly to the Red Hat website to get their issued information. But then we've actually brought it all together in the same order so you know exactly what to expect. So this is really good if you're setting up internal automations as well, because every field is consistent across every bulletin. So you can really get some good processes happening there. And then I mentioned before that daily bulletin digest, that's an example on the left. I think this is the one that was issued yesterday. They're featured in order of severity, so descending order. So you can really see there's a bad day there with a 10 on the CVSS score. But yeah, it gives you a quick deep dive at the end of the day, and you can click into those and it will take you straight to the portal there as well. On the right, it's just a little example of how you can opt in and out of those security bulletins. If you're crazy, you can select that all security bulletins and get that flood of emails, or you can start to prioritize what's exactly in your environment. One of the key services in our vulnerability management suite is our MSINs, so the Member Security Incident Notifications. I'm sorry, that's a little confusing. These are made up service terms within AUSCERT, designed by our analysts a few years ago. But essentially, these are incidents that we're seeing based on the information that you provide us in your domains and IPs. So we issue these. These are exactly unique to your environment, not to every AUSCERT member. So this is really one of our value adds in the membership, because when you receive these from us, you know it's exactly what we're seeing in your environment, not just every AUSCERT member. Which is why you'll wonder why we're always hassling you to make sure that your IPs and domains are up to date. Without that up-to-date information, we're not giving you the right information that we're finding in our threat intelligence. So these are issued daily via email. You can choose to mute something, because you will get an email daily about that. So if you start to do that risk assessment and go, actually, we're accepting the risk on this, we can mute those so we can start to block out some noise. And we do have an API available for that as well. Critical MSINs, similarly issued in a similar way, but just generated in a really unique way to us. So that's if we're seeing a 0-day or a critical vulnerability announced, our analysts will go off and do research, pull together all the information, start scanning what threat intelligence we can find, and then we'll issue that critical MSIN as soon as possible. You can also opt into an early warning SMS with that service. So what we'll do is once we see it, we'll hit you with an SMS to whatever contacts that you've nominated. And it's like, don't just wait on this, jump straight on this, investigate, because this is more urgent, more critical. To look at our MSINs in the member portal, this is a big update that we did last year, which has really brought this service to the next level. For the emails that we issue for MSINs are small, unique, targeted, exactly what our analysts are kind of figuring out that you would be needing. But this gives you the fire hose of information that we have available on our domains and IPs that we found for you. So you can see this Australia view. This is just a sample. Of course, this will look different once you're logged into the member portal as you. And then you can compare how you're looking as an organisation versus what we're seeing for Australia. Yep, like I said, API available for that one, and that's been really popular with our members. Moving on to threat intelligence, our third pillar. So we've got sensitive information alerts. These are typically sourced monthly, and we've got a great suite of threat intelligence. So some of them will be paid feeds that we've bought on behalf of our members with our membership income, but we also get a lot of information from other international certs. We're scanning dark web. Yeah, there's lots of different forms that we're looking for. So these are based on the domains that you've nominated again, and we issue those via email. So what you'll do is you'll get an email that links you to the member portal, you download a file, and bam, you're on your way with looking at those. API service is actually about to launch. I'll give you the heads up. So that's in testing at the moment. So that's really exciting for our members. That will bring that one up in line with our other services as well. The malicious URL feeds. So this is really well fed by our phishing takedowns, because yeah, every phishing takedown we issue, we add that malicious URL to this feed. This is a great sort of set and forget service. Probably my favorite service. Is it wrong to have a favorite service? Is it like having a favorite child? I'm not sure. But yeah, so this is all the phishing and malware that are discovered by analysts and also from other members as well. But great to add to your firewall's block list. So it's a high confidence feed is a really important part here. So it is really something that you can kind of set and forget and have that extra layer of protection. It's available in the portal. Once again, we've got APIs for that. We've also got a feed of this available in our MISP and AHEX ISAC MISP for the higher education suite. So yeah, that's one I really recommend people sort of jumping on as they sign up for membership, because it's a really great way to get started. As I mentioned, we do have AUSCERT. So MISP is an open source threat intelligence platform. It was created by our friends in the CERT team in Luxembourg in Europe. And we, years ago when we were looking for a way of sharing threat intelligence, we were looking at different platforms. Obviously, being open source, this was really important to us. We wanted to make sure that there was not a blocker for our members being able to access this information. So it's come a long way through those years. I think we've been using it for 5 or 6 years. But it's not just technical information. It's a really interesting way of like connecting different IOCs across different targeted platforms. So yeah, to be honest, it is used mostly by our sort of more mature members, but there's some great ways that you can sort of tap into feeds and get access to APIs to get you started there as well. We've also got ADIA, which is our daily intelligence report. You can sign up to this even if you're not a member. So if you're interested in receiving that, just reach out to our membership team. So this is just a daily news summary. It's curated through our analysts, so it's really focused on what we're seeing in Australian media. So it saves you being subscribed to, a dozen different news outlets and trying to stay on top of everything that's happening. We sort of compile throughout the day based on different people's reading habits across the different teams. So you get lots of different perspectives. You'll see the top news. You can link through the original articles. But yeah, like our Bulletins Digest, you get that at the end of each day and you can sort of catch up on what's happening in the news. On Fridays, we have the Week in Review, which is our bumper edition of this email. It's been around like some of our other services. It's been a long-standing submission that we have going out. So once again, we'll bring through some news articles. It'll also feature the essential bulletins that have been issued that week and a bit of a preamble from AUSCERT about what we're seeing, anything that's happening in AUSCERT and generally in the community as well. You can also subscribe to that on LinkedIn as a newsletter, and you can do that as a non-member too if you're interested in receiving that as a little way to make your way into AUSCERT. We also have the AUSCERT podcast, which is called Share Today, Save Tomorrow. I think we're in our 4th season, so it's been going for a couple of years now. I proudly host that one, so it's one of my babies that I get to work on, which I'm really enjoying. So we have moved to a new format this year where we're releasing that every fortnight. And there's usually a bit of a pattern. So we have a mixture of guest interviews, which are really interesting, where we can deep dive into some services. And then I've been trying to convince some of the AUSCERT team to come on and share a bit of their stories and do some service updates. So yeah, it's quite well-rounded. We try to keep them to like half-hour episodes so they're easy to digest. So definitely look that out. It's available on Apple and Spotify and SoundCloud. And as I mentioned before, we also have Member Slack. So I love Member Slack. I love seeing our members talk to each other, which is great. And we have ransomware reports that are posted there daily by AUSCERT. There's news channels in there. Yeah, there's a little bit of something for everybody. But like I said, it's really the bread and butter is about sharing with each other. There is a bit of fun. I think Wednesdays you'll enjoy. There's the frog of the day. The Wednesday My Dude has really evolved in the AUSCERT. We're not letting go of it. So some of our members have been creating some beautiful, like little Where's Wally-esque kind of pictures where you've got to find the frog every Wednesday. I'm notoriously bad at them. But yeah, it's a nice place for just sharing and being part of the community. Conference. So the AUSCERT conference, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary in 2026, which is super exciting. A lot of people have heard about the AUSCERT conference before they heard about AUSCERT as an organisation. So I'm hoping it's not a strange new concept for you. But every year we hold it on the Gold Coast, typically in May. We do try to keep sort of to the middle of May, so you'll see it's the 19th to the 22nd next year. We are celebrating big with our 25th anniversary, but you can expect 2 days of tutorials, so you can come away with hands-on new skills and then our 2 days of presentations. That's all included in the price. So a lot of our members even use their training budgets for coming. They can justify it through the tutorials, which is great. And our 2 days of presentations is a 4-stream breakout. So you'll really find something for everyone. I'd like to think it's a bit unique in that we actually cover all aspects of cyber. So across the 4 streams, you'll find a great mix of something for, the more technical, something more GRC, management, and there's really concerted effort to make sure that we cover every theme and every interest. So definitely check that out. If you check out our conference website, which is conference.auscert.org.au, you'll see as we start to, we've got a call for presentations that's just opening today, but you'll start to see some information populating there as we lock in this year's program. And you can also check out last year's if you check out the previous conferences page. We really want to get our members there. That's the biggest draw card for us, is to bring that community together face to face. So all of our members get a 50% off one member price registration, and our others all get at least one free conference registration to attend. So it's a great way to interact with the team, meet some of our analysts that you've been communicating via email or the 24/7 hotline. I really enjoy seeing people go, I feel like I know you already, but yeah, putting a face to that name is really nice. Conference is one of our favorite times of the year. The entire AUSCERT team picks up from here and heads to the Gold Coast, and we run operations from there as well. So it's really nice for us to get together with the community. And if you do want to put in a submission, that is also really welcome. We're one of the few conferences left that actually still sponsor speaker travel. So all of our members or all of our speakers get their travel, accommodation and registration all covered to really honour their input into the conference. Moving on to our additional services. So these are an additional fee, but you'll see there we do offer a 15% discount for AUSCERT members on our training. Most of our training is a one-day course, saying that these are all delivered online at the moment, and we do them as 2 half-day sessions. We don't want to put anyone to sleep with a full-day training session online. We want to keep people engaged, so typically we try to schedule them for the mornings, so you get 2 back-to-back mornings. Keep it really fresh while you're, sipping that first coffee of the day. And it also means that you can get back and catch up on the day's work at the same time for the rest of your afternoon. So we do find it's really popular because you're not losing a resource for the entire day. You'll see there we do have a really diverse list of topics. Our introduction to cybersecurity for IT professionals has been running for a long time, really going back to when most people joining cyber were coming from an IT background. It still surprises me how popular that is, but just knowing that a lot of people now are coming in from different avenues. But that's just making sure that you've got that IT knowledge and building cyber on top of it so that we don't have to go back to that basics. A lot there in the GRC space you'll see, doing data governance and third-party risk. They've been really popular this year. We can host these also internally for your teams if you've got enough demand, if you're a bigger organization. So we do that a lot, and those can be delivered face-to-face if you prefer. We've just delivered some great training in Tasmania for some members and Victoria in the last month. So we do like to get out and do those. And if you've got other ideas for training, these are all based on member needs. So we design all of our courses based on what people are looking for in skills gaps. Last but not least, we do have our governance, risk and compliance. These, once again, are additional costs, but we offer 15% discount for all AUSCERT members. Our maturity assessments are really based at our small and medium-sized members, looking for people, with less resource, less team involved. They are doing, compared against the 20 most critical NIST controls, you'll see that you do get, a lot of information in that. But I guess what's different about this, it's not just something that we deliver and go, ta-da, here's your maturity assessment. It's really us working collaboratively with you. So to gather all the information, we'll be explaining why we needed that information, what we use it for. So we do find that we're upskilling our members as they come along that journey as well, which is really great. It's no use just getting these reports at the end and not understanding where they've come from, or being able to start to replicate and take your own journey at the same time. From that, we have established incident response plans that we can deliver, and of course, tabletop exercises. So you would have seen in our training, we do have a training course on how to write an incident response plan. We love doing that with members that want to have a bit more of a front seat to writing that incident response plan and showing you how to do that. But some people will just don't have the resource or the time to get to that. So this was why we've developed doing that for our members as well. A lot of our services like these, we are willing to customize to what your needs are. It isn't just like a set and forget package. So if you've got, particularly in tabletop exercises, we're finding they're quite diverse depending on what you're trying to achieve, who you're trying to pitch to. We can really customize to make that exactly what you need it to be. So that concludes the actual part of going to spew at you with all our different services and what we do. If you've got any questions, we're really happy to answer them. If you prefer to take them offline, that's also fine. You'll see there you can contact membership at AUSCERT. That's in my membership team. We do have Nick and Bernard who will be answering. They're always available on the phone or by email. If you prefer, we can set up a separate meeting if you've got very unique questions or you'd like to see some information about a particular service. We can talk you through that. But probably worth noting before we get to questions is we do put up our fees every January. So if you are looking to sign up in the short term, I really recommend signing up in November and December, locking in that 2025 membership rate before that. When I say we put them up, they're going up by less than 5% because we are a not-for-profit. We just need to cover our costs. And the other thing worth noting is we can do a trial membership. So if you'd like to try things out for a month and see how it goes, you can get access and start to set, obviously there's a little bit of investment to make sure that you're signing up to the right emails and the right information. But yeah, then you can start to see the sorts of things that you'd be issued as a member and try it out before you buy. Right, have we got any questions there? No questions? Hopefully I've answered them all. Maybe that's why. All right. Well, we might leave it there and you can get half an hour back in your day. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. But yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions, we're really happy and we're here to help you. Thanks. Have a great day.